Alright, a lot of people are getting really enthusiastic about overhead lifting, but we have to qualify the fact that not everyone should be overhead lifting. For example, if Jim goes ahead and puts his arms straight above his head, if we see him having to lean through his back to get his arms up, he's not really prepared to lift overhead because he's going to jam his shoulders or his facet joints his low back. So what we want to do when a lot of people are locked up in their mid-back or their hips is provide them drills that allow them to mobilize those areas so that we can get them lifting overhead as soon as possible. One of the drills I love to begin with is the around the world, and we can do these anywhere from really slow so they can focus on different components of the range of motion to very fast for more performance related aspects, especially like rotational athletes. So what Jim's going to do, he's going to take our smaller sandbag here. He's going to start with a real slow version at first. Remember, the movement comes from the hip. As he comes around, he's got to really try and arch through his upper mid-back. You see the range of motion that he's taking his arms through really helps sort of open up the torso, the shoulders, and the mid-back. Now he can go more to a performance stance where he starts getting it moving, and he's using the energy he produces to keep the motion to be continuous. And you see the motion's not happening by him just moving his arms, but his hips. So his hips are moving the opposite direction of his upper body to create the action, which is very important so you don't overload just the shoulders. So now another way to sort of activate a lot of the shoulder girdle is to actually utilize the hips. If you aren't using the hips, chances are your shoulders are getting overtaxed and they're not moving well. Because if we give you a good foundation to lift from, all of a sudden your body will be both stronger and move better. So one way we can teach this without trying to, vomit information on a client is to have them do it through motion. So we're going to go into reverse lunge, which is a hip activated exercise. Have the bag on one shoulder. Jim's going to step back in the bomb position. He's going to press the weight up and over the other side fully, come back up, and then he's going to reverse to the other side. What this is doing, again, we're getting a lower body pulling action, so his glutes and hamstrings are being involved. Because of the transition to the bag, we're getting lateral stability, so his whole torso and glutes are having a fire to control him, which are going to wake up a lot of stabilizers of the lower body to help out the torso. And what you'll see too is we're getting a dynamic stretch on the hips that allow him to actually lift the weight overhead easier when he goes back and transitions to a typical, let's say, clean and press stance. Lastly, the benefit is he's learning how to root into the ground. Because in that bomb position he has to press through both feet to gain stability, he's going to actually learn to transition that to a bilateral lift when he goes standard pressing overhead. So he's going to learn how to utilize his hips, his lower body, and his midsection to help him press, which will alleviate a lot of problems with his shoulder joint.